Hey guys, Tony here. Back to make a video. Just felt like making a video really. I have some new stuff, some really cool stuff actually, but I'm waiting. Don't want to do it yet. I'm waiting on a couple things to come in the mail. Yes, I finally broke down and ordered a couple things online. One in particular I wanted for a long time and finally got a deal on something, so waiting for that to come. So maybe by next weekend or so I'll have a new recent finds video. But was watching some videos and sort of got thinking about um, just sort of the music that I'm interested in now, which hasn't always been the case. And I would say, for lack of a better term, to describe a broad spectrum of music, that would be, I guess, progressive music. Be it progressive rock, um, progressive jazz, avant-garde jazz, progressive folk, anything like that, stuff that's maybe a bit more challenging. Um, that's really my primary interest in music now. When I'm online searching for stuff or searching for records, that's the titles I'm looking for. It just sort of happened that way, to be honest. Yes, it's discussed widely in the community, and that obviously plays a part. There are many people on here that are very well versed in this sort of stuff, and it's just the stuff I'm really more interested in now. Um, I think it's funny that you know I've been exposed to Rush before, for a long time. Yes, Genesis, all that sort of progressive rock stuff, even art rock stuff, T-Rex, Bowie, even to some extent. But it's only now that I've really started digging a bit deeper and really, branching out. And I'm really just interested in this stuff. Again, Sun Ra. You name it. Krautrock, Captain Beefheart, Talk Talk, Miles Davis. Miles Davis has been my latest obsession. Um, I'm here to talk about one specific band though, and it's not Miles Davis. But Miles Davis is my sort of latest obsession. His later material, obviously, that's just mind blowing. I'm more mid period, I should say. I haven't checked out much of his later stuff, like before his death, but everything up till his sort of hiatus from music, it's just been blowing me away recently. Um, but getting into all the krautrock, getting into a lot of UK folk, progressive folk, Captain Beefheart, Talk Talk, all that stuff. I don't think I would have been able to get into that sort of Miles Davis stuff as much. Um, Bitches Brew, I love Bitches Brew. I've listened to that for a long time, and it's funny. This record here, this is probably one of the first records I bought. Miles Davis at the Fillmore, and I bought this probably for $1 years ago, and had no idea what it was. Just thought Miles Davis kind of blue, that sort of thing. I just didn't know, and I bought it, brought it home, put it on, and I was like, what is this? No, I was not having it. Was not into it. Didn't know what it was about. Just was not into it. So I was exposed to this really before Bitches Brew, and I gotta tell you, after trying to listen to this, Bitches Brew was like a pleasure. I don't want to say I got Bitches Brew right away, but this I thought was way more challenging. So I shelved this for a while. And then more recently I got into On the Corner, Live Evil, Get Up With It, Big Fun, all those records. And just been obsessed with them, listening to them all the time. And I absolutely love that stuff. It's just like, and then sort of recently I went back to this. It was like, again, like those other albums, blown away by this. Just like, so listening to this stuff, listening to the more challenging, it literally changes the way you listen to music. For those of you out there who know all this stuff and you're into all that, maybe this video isn't so much for you. You probably know what I mean. But speaking to those who are sort of where I was at, into Neil Young, into Led Zeppelin, into the more classic, the stuff that's sort of way more accessible in that it's sort of It's everywhere. You know, this is the stuff that you're sort of fed. It's on the radio, and there's nothing wrong with that. Believe me. Um, I, I still love Van Halen. I still love Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. You know, I still love the Allman Brothers Band. I mean, I love that stuff. But again, if I didn't branch out, I would have been burnt out on all this stuff. Like I put on radio, regular radio, and now I'm just like, turn it off. It's just fucking terrible, you know. But again, I'll just do the work. I hope this doesn't sound like pretentious or anything. It's not elitist. It's just, you know, I'm telling you, there's nothing more rewarding than a record that you put in the work and you want to understand what it's about. You may not get it at first, but you put in the work, and I'm telling you, man, something happens. It clicks with you. For those of you who have felt this, you know what I mean. It clicks, something opens. It's like a door opens, and it's just like, this is fantastic. Like, how did I not get this? You know. Again, I hope I'm not preaching to the choir here. I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure some of you don't. And it's good to have a gateway into this sort of stuff. And for me, that gateway was Can. And like I said, I'd been exposed to other things before, but it wasn't really until I discovered Can that I was just like blown away by them, you know? But it took a little while. And once I got them, it was just like, there's so much more stuff to check out, so much more that I was able to listen to and all that. So again, I just sort of recommend you do the work. You know, you sort of push yourself a little bit, branch out a little bit. I just can't recommend it enough because of what it's done for me. You know, so I'm gonna show you my Can records. Can were a fantastic band. If you don't know them by now, German band in the early 70s. Started in the sort of early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and from Cologne, West Germany, I believe. And they incorporated so many different styles into their music. I mean, you talk about psychedelic rock, talking about ambient music, world music, post-punk. I mean, you name it. They incorporated so much stuff and did so much experimentation. It's mind-blowing. So they were sort of really my gateway, what I consider to be my gateway to this more challenging, progressive stuff. Also, I'd like to ask for some recommendations. Some stuff that maybe you haven't seen me show and you think I would like. I know I'm still scratching the surface of this stuff. I freely admit that. There's a lot I still got to learn. Still, I want to learn. So, give me some recommendations. Maybe, yes, there's a lot of fantastic stuff out there that's just super expensive, impossible to find. But maybe stuff that's more readily available. Maybe newer stuff, or maybe even stuff that's usually right under my nose and just didn't know what it was. That sort of thing. Progressive, challenging. Again, be it jazz, be it rock, be it folk. So let me know what you think. Any recommendations. So I'll start with this. Inner Space. So this is Can before they were Can, I believe. This is a soundtrack to this movie. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. But they were called The Inner Space. And this features Rosie Rosie, who was sort of a German actress, sort of underground figure in politics and the arts. She was in this movie and she sings on the album. She appears on some other krautrock albums as well. But this is absolutely essential. I love this record. It's a Wow Wow reissue. Unreleased soundtrack. Psychedelic, stoned, aggressive, proto-kraut vibes. Courtesy, if I'm going to get their names wrong, but Ermin Schmid, Ultra Zukai, Jacques Levitait, Rosie Rosie. I'm terrible at names, and pronunciation is not my thing, obviously. But anyway, The Inner Space. Awesome. And then you have earlier recordings released later on. Can, Delay 1968. Awesome stuff. Malcolm Mooney on vocals. Just fantastic. Not so much studio trickery going on here, but it's still fantastic. On Spoon Records. Then you have their debut, Monster Movie. Again, Malcolm Mooney on vocals. He's an American. If you don't know, yes, their lyrics are, pretty much all sung in English. Fantastic stuff. And then Malcolm Mooney left the band, and Damo Suzuki was his replacement. And they found him busking on the street, singing for money. And they pretty much asked him to join the band right away. And that begins sort of Can's classic period. This is Can's Soundtracks, which has Damo Suzuki and Malcolm Mooney on a couple tracks. Fantastic stuff. There's Ultra Sukai right here. Brilliant dude. Fantastic soundtracks. So now we have Tago Mago. So this is the album that most people point to, and you see this cover, I'm sure, and there's a reason for it. It's a fantastic record. 2 LP set, and I once read about this, is that it's one of those very rare 2 double LPs albums that there's not 1 second of wasted space on here. There's not one needless note on here. And if you're just vaguely familiar with this record and you just give it like a cursory listen, and you might be thinking, what the hell kind of statement is that? But I gotta tell you again, if you are well acquainted with this record, you know it well, and put in the work, you'll know that everything on here is fantastic. Is it the most accessible record in the world? No. Again, it's not easy listening. Got to put in the work on this, but it is wonderful, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, some tracks are more accessible, and some are just super experimental, and even those are just awesome. Check it out, Tago Mago. A bit more accessible on this. Eji Bamyasi. Awesome record. Love it. The tracks, Vitamin C, Soup, Spoon, just fantastic stuff. The whole record, though. Pinch. Great record, so check it out. And finally, the last album with Damo Suzuki is Future Days, and this is a wonderful record. Probably the one I listen to most now. They go in sort of an ambient sort of direction on this, and wonderful stuff, really. Check it out. Great record. So Damo Suzuki left the band. I don't know why. I think it had to do with religion. Met a girl and religion, something like that. I don't know. But they continued on. And this is one of my favorite Can records. Soon Over Babaluma. Still continuing that sort of ambient feel, and I love this record. Great stuff. This is Can Peel Sessions. I believe all improvised, live. Obviously John Peel, who's a big fan of Can and krautrock in general, and really helped bring it to the forefront in Britain, at least, in the UK. Awesome stuff. This one, Flow Motion. Some really cool tunes on here. It's not the greatest in the world, but still a very cool record. So, yeah, very cool. Their later stuff gets sort of more varied. There's a lot of holes here. There's still a few things I'm missing. So recent reissue, Out of Reach. It's alright. There's sort of more disco-y tracks on here, so it's not outside the realm of reason that Can would go in this sort of direction a little bit more. They've always sort of had a funky feel to them, at least on a lot of their stuff. But I believe Roscoe G, I think he was in Traffic, if I'm not mistaken. He joined Can, and I believe, from what I understand at least, I could be making some assumptions, but he sort of exerted his influence on the band. And Ultra Zukai was sort of either by choice or relegated to just doing the edits rather than playing. Um, Not quite sure if that's 100% accurate, but either way, this is alright. And finally, same with this one. Inner Space. So, some good stuff on here. Not the greatest. But yeah, those 3 records from with Damo Suzuki, obviously. It's been said a lot, but it's awesome stuff. And one last thing here. Movies. Ultra Zukai solo effort by him, and this is awesome. Check it out. So that's what I got, guys. Again, would love some recommendations on stuff. I mean, some of the things I talked about can, later Miles Davis, Sun Ra, recommendations. Would love them. So I hope I came off okay in this. I hope I was clear. Thanks for watching. Give me some comments. Take care, guys.